I've got another productivity hack for you, and this video is titled, How I'm Able to Get So Much Stuff Done Waiting at the Airport and Sitting on an Airplane. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here from essetinomedia, and on this channel, we show you how to create profitable content. Alright, so how this came about was, in the past year, I've been doing a lot of traveling for me, and I've been traveling pretty much every month, sometimes twice a month, where I have to take a flight somewhere. And I've been working on my productivity with traveling, and I wanted to share some of my tips and tricks with you. And here's the funny thing. Sometimes I get more done at the airport and on the airplane than I actually do when I'm at the destination. Because usually when I'm traveling, it's for a conference or it's a vacation type thing. And when you're at the actual place, it's like way harder to get stuff done because there's, distractions, you're at events and that kind of stuff. So I actually get way more done at the airport and on the airplane. So let me share with you how I'm able to do this. First, it starts with the actual flight. So when I book flights, I actually book the early morning ones, the ones that people don't really like. Not only is it usually cheaper, but it's quiet at the airport. So when I'm heading to the destination, I'm here in Vancouver, so I've been going to San Francisco a lot. So when I book a flight to San Francisco, I will book the morning flights, like the 6 a.m., the 5 a.m., the ones that people don't really want. And yes, it's cheaper, as I said, but mainly it's because it's quiet at the airport and there's barely anyone there. When I'm coming back, I actually do an evening flight because I don't like checking out of the hotel so early and all that kind of stuff. So I actually do an evening flight back because you can usually use the hotel and they'll store their bags for you and you can actually stay. Usually they have a nice lounge. I usually pick a hotel that has nice seating so that I can work there. So that's the first thing with the flights. Next is the week before the actual flight, I think about what am I going to work on at the airport and on the plane. And for me, those are two different things because at the airport, I'm able to have, free Wi-Fi and everything like that. But on the plane, you may or may not have Wi-Fi depending on if you pay for it or not. Usually I don't pay for the Wi-Fi on the plane, and a lot of the times they're not even offering Wi-Fi. So I work on different things, whether I have internet or I don't have internet. And so I think about what time am I going to get at the airport, and that time between, okay, I'm going to arrive at the airport at this time, and then security is going to usually take this long. And when you travel often, you kind of already know how long it's going to take after doing it so many times. And so for me, with working on stuff, for example, when I'm working at the airport, I'll choose things that, need to be uploaded to the YouTube channel for our channel or for our client's channel. Things I need internet on, emails or things like that. Versus actually being on the airplane where I won't have access to internet, I can do video editing. So I also do video editing for this channel and for our clients' YouTube channels as well. Next is if you're familiar with your airport like I am, and our airport here is the Vancouver International Airport, also known as YVR. I know it very well, and so I know all the spots where to go to get a table and a plug. And you can see this lovely photo of me here. This is one of my favorite spots to work at when I'm flying international, when I'm flying from Vancouver to probably somewhere in the States. And there's like a whole routine that happens. So once I go through security with me and my business partner, we get to that table, that same table you see in the photo. One of us will go get breakfast. So if my business partner is going to go get breakfast, I am setting up the laptop, getting ready to crank it. And I usually arrive between 2 to 3 hours before the flight. Again, I'm showing up early on purpose because I want to utilize this time. It's very focused for me because it's quiet, people haven't arrived yet. And if there are people, they're usually like sleeping. So once I get the food, eat my breakfast, and then I just crank it right up until the flight attendants call for boarding. I work right up until that time. During that time, I'm getting stuff done. I'm doing small walks here and there, for breaks so that your legs don't get cramped up, going to the washroom, getting a bottle of water, that kind of thing. It's a whole routine for me. Then, once we're doing boarding, obviously you have to pack up everything. You want to make sure that you've got your laptop already in your backpack or in like your laptop bag ready to go. You don't want to put it in your carry-on and have it in the overhead storage because it's gonna take a lot longer and it might be more difficult to get it out of the storage compartment because you never really know what's going on the flight. If it's just a one aisle, which it usually is, there's people walking back and forth, there's flight attendants. And so it's not as easy and as streamlined to get your laptop out if you have it in your carry-on suitcase. That's another thing is I always travel with my carry-on as a backpack because of my laptop. I have my backpack underneath the seat. I always put it underneath the seat for quick access. Once the flight starts and we hit cruising altitude, I don't get distracted by the TV or anything or playing the games or anything because you can go down that rabbit hole, start a movie, and then you're just distracted. I'm very focused and very determined to get what I need to get done that I already set out. Like I already know what I'm working on so that you're not fumbling around. Oh, what should I work on? Should I work on this or should I work on that? It's already been planned out like a week before arriving to the airport. And you want to prep for that because, for example, if I'm editing a video, if I've planned, okay, I'm going to edit a video on the plane, but I haven't filmed anything, then that doesn't work, right? So you have to prepare for the stuff that you're going to have to work on. Once the flight takes off and you hit cruising altitude, which basically means you can walk around, take off your seatbelt. I don't take off my seatbelt, by the way, unless I'm going to the washroom. Seatbelt stays on 24/7 for me. As soon as it hits cruising altitude, boom, whip out my backpack, laptop, got the table going on, plug, and I start working. I literally use every single minute of the flight. I've even right up until, we're doing the descent. That's how serious I am about using this time. I'm very strict and very diligent about not falling asleep or taking a nap like I usually would. Before all this, I was the one playing the video games on the TV, listening to music, eating chips, drinking pop, falling asleep, and just doing whatever I felt like. Now, I want to use this focused time because it's very focused. There's barely any distractions going on. You're stuck in the seat and then that's it for the flight. Now, another thing is it depends on the flight time as well. So if the flight's really long, like when I took this flight to Hawaii, it was 5 something hours. I planned for that. I planned for the workload of 5+ hours. The flight to San Francisco from Vancouver is 2 hours something, so I have to be strategic and choose something that I can complete within that time. Another thing here, most people get upset over delays. I actually like it when there are delays because then I have more time to work on stuff. Delays at the airport, they're gonna happen. It's guaranteed you're gonna get a delay. So instead of getting all upset about it and getting angry at the flight attendant when it's usually not their fault, I use it to my advantage and I get shit done. One time we were flying back from San Francisco to Vancouver and I kid you not, the delay was 8 hours. We were already at the gate. We were already at that part where you are waiting to board. And there was massive delays because of the weather. And it's what are you going to do? Get mad? It's the weather. There was crazy storms going on. And so it delayed everything, right? When one plane's delayed, it just delays the whole thing. And so we were at this spot for 8 hours. And yeah, you're slightly annoyed and whatever. But I was I'm going to use this time. And I got a lot of stuff done. So I used a really annoying time as a positive and an advantage. Oh, and another side note about flights. I typically only choose direct flights if possible because I don't want to have to stop over at different airports and such. Whenever I'm choosing flights, I choose the morning and I choose direct. So that's it. Those are my tips on getting stuff done at the airport and on the airplane. I actually really look forward to it. I know a lot of people don't look forward to waiting at the airport or the actual flight, but I actually really look forward to it now because I've trained myself to get a lot of stuff done during those times. Hit the thumbs up button if you thought this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.